everybody, it's me, Edward Jones. I'm back with a new video. I've seen several videos on the subject, and I figured I'd share my thoughts and feelings um, about the subject of cannibalism. Now, I've known that it's gone on for for a long time. I mean, just reading about some of the things that have gone on in Russia during many famines during that time. I remember watching a movie called Innocence Betrayed, and it showed that there were some, like through forced starvation, there were some people that were actually eating others because of the famine. They were denied food rations, and they started eating other people. I'm gonna drink some of this, and so that kind of stuff became outlawed. And reading about some of the cannibalism that went on. I believe it was the attack of Nanking by the Japanese military in China, and also about some acts of cannibalism. A lot of the ones I read about were during World War II, especially like with the Stalingrad with German soldiers. They were cut off from supply lines. So I remember Miami Prepper mentioned this about how they took pictures of Stalingrad. You didn't see any. There were people getting sniped, but you didn't see any dead bodies. And it turns out German soldiers were pulling dead bodies off the streets that were freshly killed, butchering them and cooking them to feed themselves. I also read about cannibalism within POW camps, the Allied POW camps that were ran by Japanese soldiers, and there were accounts of they would actually cut meat off off men who were living, and cook it and eat it. It kept doing it until there was nothing really left to cut off, and they just threw the body in a ditch. That's just some of the stuff I've read. And also talking about, who would if you were in a situation where, someone died, and the weather was extremely hazardous, and if you knew that your survival depended upon eating a person, if just for 1 week until help arrived, would you do it? Me personally, I never hit that point. I never hit that point of desperation in my life. But I can say that it's hard for me to accept the possibility that I would do it. I can't predict the future. I won't say that I wouldn't do it, but there's something in me that tells me I ought not to do this. So to keep from even hitting that wall, I do all I can to feed myself. I do all I can to provide for myself to keep from doing certain actions. I remember I left a comment on Miami Prepper's video. I said I would turn a Foot Locker into a buffet. I think I would start eating shoe leather. Because I read about that, at the Donner Party. They'd done stuff like that. They would cook their belts, cook shoe leather, eat shoestrings, to feed themselves. But then it also, part of it goes with my disgust of how food is, I think I did a video about this before, about how food is treated, about how much food is wasted. Normally what I do is, I was given a tray of a vegetable platter and a fruit platter, and whatever I couldn't eat, I told my coworkers, I said, whatever you don't eat, don't throw it out, give it to me. What I can do is I can actually either put it in a food processor, chop it all up, and throw it in my compost pile, or just throw it in my compost pile, unchopped up. Either way, I would try to recycle it, because I don't want a landfill shouldn't eat before I do, or shouldn't eat before anyone does. That's the way that's what I believe. So, and I fear that cannibalism may occur should something happen quicker than anyone thinks. Just because from looking at the way food is treated nowadays. We're truly blessed that we could throw food out, but that doesn't mean we ought to. We ought to throw food out and treat it as if it was trash. another part of me that refuses to take part in cannibalism because I realize there are certain things that if I witnessed it, I think I would lose control of my temper. I just spoke to a few friends of mine before making this video that I think there were a few things that would cause me to act in a savage manner, which I would try to do a video about that topic down the road. And I think if I were to witness uh, that kind of action, I believe I would try to kill every last person who took part in it because there's just something in me that just cries out that there's something evil about it. Something evil about eating another person. I can't explain it. It's just something that's in me that this is a drive that I have. Right? It's just something I feel it within me that I just can't even. It's hard for me to rationalize it. Now that being said, I can't say that I would think ill of someone if they did it. Like the scenarios that have been put up. If you had to eat a person that had just died. And if I were to ever find out that happened, that a person just died, I don't believe I can fault them. It's a situation that I don't think anyone should ever have to go through. It's traumatic. Well, one of the things that I actually worry about, I see it as being as a slippery slope. Let's say someone died in front of you. Well, what if let's say you did eat that person. Well, what if you're in a situation where you don't have any more food again, and you approach a person that's not dead but they've been injured or they're sick? Could it be Could it be a possibility that you would deny that person aid and let them die so that you can eat them, so that you don't feel guilty, so that you wouldn't feel as though you had to kill them to eat them before you did it? They still died, but they died without your assistance. And if you did that, then what stops you from purposely picking fights so that you can actually kill someone and potentially eat them? And after that, what's to stop you from actively hunting people for their flesh, and kill them and eat them? A little bit from the movie The Road, we show that the father and son found this house, and that goes into another even greater extreme, as I mentioned before, with some of the POWs during World War II. In the movie In the Road, there were people that they found a basement. There were people in the basement, malnourished, and some of them had their limbs removed. Some of them had missing limbs. And that goes to where if you actively go hunting for people, what's to keep you from capturing and farming people? And since you capture a person or a group of people, and you one by one you butcher them, but you don't kill them. You cut off a finger or a hand or an arm. You cut off part of their leg. Basically, what I'm getting at is, how do you keep yourself from spiraling out of control once you make the decision to eat a dead body? And that is why I believe that we should all do all that we can to keep from hitting that point. I did a little bit of reading about what the human body can digest. I read about between the layer of bark and wood on a tree, because the human body cannot digest cellulose. There's a layer of bark that can be eaten. And I think I would more so look into that kind of stuff. I remember I was talking to I did a few comments on the Prepared Minds video about cannibalism. One of the things I mentioned was eating cats and dogs. I mean, it seems unsightly. But me personally, I would prefer to eat a cat or a dog before I go about eating my fellow man. maybe even rats or bugs, things like that. You know, I gotta like I've said before, it's not uncomfortable for me to talk about. It's just I'm trying to find a way to explain it in a way that I believe you the viewer can understand where I'm coming from, or maybe identify with me. There's just some things that I can't fathom doing to survive, and I would try all my best to keep them, like I said, keep them hitting that point. But those are my opinions on the subject of cannibalism. Should it ever arise in a SACF situation? But that's my video. Please, I encourage you to leave your comments. Please check out the Prepared Mind. He has a great channel. He has a lot of thought-provoking videos. I believe the tagline for his channel is Chance favors the prepared mind. Also, check out Miami Prepper's video on the subject of cannibalism. He does go a great deal on the subject. And try to find other sources of information out there. Please leave your comments, questions, or gripes, complaints in the comment section. I love reading them. I try to respond to them as fast as I read them. And I also want to give a big thank you for any new subscribers I have. I noticed that my channel has been growing slowly but surely. It's growing, and I want to keep putting out videos that are thought-provoking, somewhat entertaining, but in the end are educational. I like people to learn from things that I talk about. Perhaps I can learn from your comments and whatever experiences you feel free to share with me. But that's my video. I'm Edward Jones, and you have a nice day.